I've not been good in operations. I don't like to be in operations.
Every single residential property in the United States in our OwnerPoint platform.
In the beginning, it was not the easiest. In the beginning, compared to what we came from, it was clunky.
You gotta find the right people around you because you cannot do it all yourself.
Today on the Vacation Rental Show, how to scale new markets without chaos, choose technology partners who actually deliver, and why people behind your tools are just as important as the tools themselves. Welcome to the Vacation Rental Show. This is your essential playbook to grow and scale your vacation rental business with advice and insights from the best in the biz. I'm your host, Lynell Gordon. Welcome to the Vacation Rental Show. I'm Lynell Gordon. Today we're going to talk about what happens after you've nailed the basics. You've got your PMS, your first properties, your operations, mostly under control. So what's next? How do you move into new markets without breaking what you've built? How do you choose tech partners who support real growth rather than just adding complexity? And when things get messy, who's actually there to help you? I sat down with 3 people at this year's Streamline Summit who look at these questions from different angles. Koen Roelens, who scaled a side hustle business to 600 properties across Florida. Larry Hoffer, who builds data tools to help property managers find the right properties before their competitors do. And Mishan Andre, who's experienced Streamline both as a luxury operator in Cabo and now from the inside. Each brings a different piece to the puzzle: people, data, technology, and support. If you're ready to scale strategically and not just grow for growth's sake, this is for you. Now, let's dive in. Koen's story starts in hotels. Marriott, Best Western, guys everywhere. After 9/11, occupancy tanked. You guys know that. And he suddenly had lots of time on his hands. So fast forward 15 years, and he's running 600 vacation rentals across Florida. But here's the curveball. Koen openly admits that he's not good at operations, and that's exactly why he's been able to scale.
I think operational excellence is, as you grow, a byproduct that you have to have as a goal. Otherwise, you just bring him in to the front door, you lose him in the back door. So my focus always has been on growth, on unit counts. It still is today because I think it's the quickest and best way to grow your company and figure it out along the line. And we have always done that. But we came to a certain amount of units, a certain size of a company that you say, if I don't really put processes in place now, I'm never going to really scale or never going to be able to grow.
What do you think that number is, Koen?
Well, for me, the number was probably 200, 250 that I really saw I got to be a little bit more serious in my operations. And I've not been good in operations. I don't like to be in operations, so I had to find people that could help me with processes and help me with operations. So luckily today, I can say that I have a team around me, a leadership team, that is way better than me, way smarter than me, and they have all figured it out. And I can still concentrate on sales and growing the company.
For Koen, somewhere around 200 to 250 units, things shifted for him. And that's the moment he realized growth without ops isn't really growth, it's churn. So instead of trying to reinvent himself as an ops guy, he hired people who were better than him. Now, that is a theme we'll come back to a lot today and a theme we see in business all the time. Now, entering new markets. It's not just sign more homes. There is a strategy behind it. You're obviously in a lot of markets. For those that are looking to expand into other markets, what advice would you give them to what do they need to think about before they expand, when they get there? What's the best advice you can have for that?
I think there are 2 ways for an established company to go to another market. One is organic growth. You start from zero. I think it's the most difficult way. It's the most expensive way. We just have launched a little bit more into Sarasota market, Sarasota, Bradenton, almost Tampa, that area. And I think the way to do is you either get like a 20 unit count in a building, in a STR community, or you buy a small company. And I think it's way better to do it that way.
How do you integrate those employees into your culture?
Yeah, as you go, but you need those local people. You need the locals. You cannot bring your cleaners up with a 1.5, 2 hour drive. You gotta see who is local. Hire people that are in hospitality locally there. The culture, yes, it's important, the culture, but I think you can fix that as you go. If you hire hospitality-minded people, it's a small twist sometimes to add them to your hospitality culture. And that's what we try to do.
I love that. That's very good advice. So you don't do huge changes when you come in and buy a company. You tweak it, basically, is what you're saying. And you basically turn it slowly until it's where you want it, dial it in.
I think we have a way of doing things, a philosophy that we are keeping each time when we grow, which is really focused on unit growth and doing the right thing.
2 big takeaways here. Don't build a market from zero if you can avoid it. Either acquire a small local business or land a decent unit cluster. Number 2, hire locals. They know their market and their hospitality nuance. You can always align your culture over time. And Koen's rule for making all this work?
When I sit with an owner and they are interested in our product, maybe it's a new one, maybe it's an existing one, it always comes to communication. Always. If you find the right communication, they will follow you. And it's the same for the guests. It's the same. If you communicate the right way, in all shapes and forms, it's no problem. Everything will fall in place. I tell my employees all the time, communicate, over-communicate. Everything will fall in place. It's actually that simple. It could be very complicated, but if you follow that rule, it can be very simple.
Seriously, communicate more than you think you need to. Owners, guests, your team. If you are transparent and proactive, almost everything gets easier. But doing it at scale, that takes the right people. What are the most important things operationally that they need to think about if they want to grow from where they are to much larger?
The people aspect is key to me as well. In the beginning, I hired, fired, but at a certain point, you gotta find the right people around you because you cannot do it all yourself. So as you grow, you gotta trust other people. And finding the right people is very, very important. And you gotta empower those people. We have a young leadership team. I'm very happy that those people are young, they're focused, they're motivated. And it's phenomenal to see that they come up with strategies, they come up with, I could never. So I think that's the key. Find the right people, give them all your trust, empower them as much as you can, because they are way smarter than you, and let the train run and just listen and twist and tweak where needed. But I think that's key.
I love Koen's honesty here. Scaling isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you are in the areas where you are the weakest, and then getting out of their way so they can do their job. And once the right people are in place, here's his final piece of advice.
I would say come to conferences. Come to conferences like these. Connect with other people. See how they are doing certain things. I always learn from these conferences. Is it the VRMA? Is it Streamline? Is it investor conference? You always learn. So take the time out of your business to work on your business. Don't be always in the weeds, and come to those conferences.
Take time to work on the business, not just in the business. Conferences, peer conversations, learning from others. That's where you pick up ideas that help you scale faster and avoid painful mistakes. And that brings us to the next part of the puzzle. If you're going to grow intentionally, you need to know where the right properties are. So let's talk data. Larry Hoffer has worn both hats. He's been an operator, and now he's building tools to help property managers grow strategically. But before we get into the tech, he says something that matters for anyone trying to build long-term partnerships in this industry. Showing up is consistently a strategy. Tell me, is it profitable for you?
You know, it's really interesting. As a vendor, going to trade shows, if you try to figure out the return on investment, it's almost incredibly difficult.
Doesn't it take 2.5 years? At least.
At least. It's part of your branding strategy. I learned this from someone. When you show up at a trade show the first time, people may notice you. They show up the second time, they say, oh, they're still in business. And when you over several years, they expect that you're there. And, you know, we're credible. And we invest, for a company of our size, a disproportionate large amount to trade shows and supporting the industry and showing up to see our customers. Our stuff works, and we like sharing it in person.
I love this because it's true for operators as well. Whether you're courting homeowners or evaluating vendors, consistency builds trust, and you can't shortcut relationship ROI. All right, let's get into Larry's world. His team builds tools that help PMs find and acquire the right homes, not just more homes. Because growth without fit can wreck your business. What do you do, Larry?
So we have two pillars of our business. One is a software suite called ZPoint. It's growth acceleration software. So we have become the #1 owner acquisition solution with our OwnerPoint product. There's nothing like it in the industry.
Okay, it's incredibly cool. It is nothing, but tell me, what does it do that's like nothing else?
Well, first of all, nothing exists because we start with the data. And you being a data person understand this better than anything. So we have a data product that has a SaaS product layered on top of it, which has a mass product, which
Nobody understands this.
Okay.
So break it down for us mortals.
So our core flagship business is called OwnerPoint. We help property managers grow their property inventory with the right properties. That is the key to our business. And you can't grow your property inventory, in our opinion, without data. You need to know which properties and which owners that you want to attract. So we have every single residential property in the United States in our OwnerPoint platform. And if you're a property manager, you have access to every property record, and we update it monthly.
So that's every property record for every property in the U.S.
Every front, 125 million properties.
I didn't believe it until I saw it, but he does. It's really, it was so cool. Your product is really amazing.
And that's the beginning. Then we enrich that data with 15 different data sources. So we can go down and get the mortgage balances, the property value, whether it's on VRBO, whether it's owned by investors, and we enrich it with 15 different data sources. And once a property manager can identify the properties that they would like to have in their inventory, so they may start with 8,000 in their area and they boil it down to target 1,000. Within minutes, they can get the email addresses and phone numbers, the demographic profile of these homeowners, so they can do very targeted marketing to them.
That's crazy. Is it like crazy stuff? It's like stuff you made up, but I know it's not. I love your product. That's the reason I invited you. Here's the simple version. There are roughly 125 million residential properties in the U.S. Larry's platform helps you to, 1, find the properties that are most worth pursuing. 2, understand the owners behind them. And 3, contact them directly. It's targeted growth so that you grow faster and smarter. This is data as a strategy, not just as a dashboard. What would you say to vendors who are thinking about coming to Streamline Summit?
Oh, this is one of the best of all the industry trade shows. These are the most engaged property managers. They are looking for solutions from vendors. They know that Streamline itself has tons of core solutions. It's probably the most robust PMS in the industry. But from the very beginning, you've worked with vendors who have services that complement Streamline. So this is the perfect sweet spot of the operators who've invested in the right software platform, the right PMS platform, who want good integrations and good execution. And we have always, it's a no-brainer.
Here's the bigger point. Whether you're choosing a property management system, a channel manager, or a data partner, look for solutions that integrate well, execute well, and show up consistently. Because going live is just step 1. The real work happens after that. Which brings us to the last piece of scaling, implementation and support. Mishan Andre uses his property management system, Streamline, in a really unique way. Now, he owns a company that runs high-end properties in Cabo. We're talking $15,000 a night luxury inventory and up. We're doing a campaign. And in our campaign, we're actually talking about truth over hype for Streamline, okay, we want real life stories of why you like Streamline and how it actually does it. Does it save you time? Does it do things for you that save you productivity?
Does it do what the name says it does?
There you go.
Well, let's preface that by saying that we've been with it we're going on 7 years now. And in the beginning, it was not the easiest. In the beginning, it was, compared to what we came from, it was clunky. It was just difficult from the perspective of getting into it and understanding where to go. Now, a lot of that had to do with how much is in there, because there's so many options and there's so many selections and there's so many reports, and you just have access to so much, it overwhelms. And I realize that being where I'm at now, looking backwards. So it took us a fair amount to onboard and really get the system up and running. But once we got there, absolutely yes, for sure. Streamline does create efficiency. It optimizes our business. It creates just a lot of freedom in what we do because it has so many pieces that are working when you're not expecting that to happen. It does it. And so for us, it does require one person that we have on our team. His name's Skylar, and he is really the Streamline guy. He's our tech guy. And it does require him to kind of be the wizard behind the curtain, making sure that everything's moving and all the pieces are happening. But it's also that locomotive train that now it's up and running. You can't stop it. I mean, there are just so many pieces and parts, and everything is working, and it's all building on top of itself. And so it almost feels like every day other pieces are getting involved in the system to make it run that much better and optimize more of our business. And then you bring in channel management and working with OTAs, and there are just so many parts that begin to layer to make it this system.
Powerful systems take time, that there's a learning curve, and it can be overwhelming when you first learn a property management system. But once it's set up and running, it's like a locomotive. Momentum builds, efficiency compounds, and suddenly you're running faster without working harder. So he uses their automation. Is there anything in particular that has happened that's come along with Streamline you went, wow, I love that it does that?
One of my favorite parts, it has to be the triggers. It has to be the fact that when something happens in our system, it creates an action somewhere else that generally has to do with an email out to somebody, informing somebody, alerting somebody, or sometimes it just leads into another system being triggered and then that pushing forward at the same time. And I love that feature of being able to hit one button and multiple actions happening. And so for me, it's those triggers. And again, it took just a little bit of setting up and creating those rules. But once they're set, I think, what was the last count? It was like we have something like 30 or 40 triggers a day on a general activity basis of our normal operating schedule. So we use them a lot. And, the more that you can automate, I find that the more it frees you up to go out and establish other parts of the business and grow the company. And so the more that I see those operating and working, the more I feel like I can now work on other things.
30 to 40 triggers a day to unlock the ability to do more with this property management system. He knows that every automated workflow that you build gives back time so that you can improve owner experience, build relationships, and grow. But technology isn't enough. That's where Mishan makes a really important part. People behind the tools matter just as much as the tools themselves.
I really appreciate how Streamline has worked well with other vendors we use. One of them is BizCore, who runs a lot of our SEO. They built our website. And not only do the technologies work well together, but the people work well together, so that when we have an issue with our website or we have something that needs to be troubleshooted, the BizCore team communicates effectively well with Streamline and vice versa, and they're able to figure it out. Because in the past, it was a matter of listening to the company, understanding their concerns, taking that to the property management software, and then being the guinea pig in between the two who were generally arguing. We got rid of all that. So
Your fault, my fault. Your fault, my fault.
that's right. That's right. So I love that aspect that they figure it out. And I mean, I feel like I've got a brother in arms with Suraj.
Everybody loves Suraj. What's not to love?
Suraj. And he's like my brother from another mother. And it's like anything that comes up, Suraj is just like, let me figure this out. Just give me a little time. If he doesn't just already know how to snap his fingers and make it happen, he will get to it. And next thing I know is I'm hearing from, again, the other companies from Inhabit, Lynbrook, Rental Guardian, and they're saying, Suraj just called me about this. Just know that we're on it. And I love that teamwork. I love that camaraderie. And most of all, I like just hearing the results. So knowing that I can talk to Streamline or BizCore here, and it goes through the evolution of seeing my concern get fixed. So I would say that is a very comforting element because, let's be honest, we're focused on houses and homeowners and guests. We don't want to have to think about that part. And it's a very refreshing element to the whole package.
This is what a good partnership looks like. Vendors talking to your property managers, talking to each other, solving problems and staying collaborative instead of leaving you stuck. It's having real humans, people you know by name. That makes all the difference when you're in the weeds. He mentioned that at Streamline, he knows Suraj, he knows Jennifer. These relationships that he has with his vendor at Streamline creates confidence, and that confidence fuels growth. I hear people say often that if they say it's coming, it really is coming. And that's a really good thing. I think that, like you're saying, Suraj is saying it's going to be fixed and it gets fixed. I love the fact that you know him by name. And so many people in the industry know him that use Streamline because he loves people and he does take care of people. And you don't see that it's a large company. They have look at all the people that are at Streamline Summit. There's a lot of people and that, a lot of people, of course, don't come. But the people that do come know everybody by name. So
I also have to give a shout out here just because we're on video and it's being recorded. I got to say Jennifer has really come through. I mean, just tenfold over the years of us going through growing pains of company getting bigger and taking on more responsibilities. And, trust accounting is not for everyone. No. And it's not the easiest thing to adapt. But over the years, we've really gotten in the weeds and Jennifer has been there to see through and ensure that we don't fail. And I just so appreciate that as well. So those have really been our two hallmark characters on the team that have gotten us to where we are. I feel, there are so many people behind the scenes, like you're saying, but I just, there's, those two, we focus our excellence on and really appreciate to have gotten us where we are.
So what do we learn? From Koen, the inflection point to invest in ops is somewhere between 200 and 250 units for him. That's when he hired somebody to do the job he didn't love and he didn't do well. Number 2, hire people who are better than you and empower them. Number 3, in new markets, hire locals and tweak your culture gradually. And number 4, and lastly, communicate. From Larry, we learned that strategic scaling starts with data. And you cannot rely on randomness. Go after the right properties intentionally. And relationships take time. Consistency is what builds credibility. From Mishan, we learned that implementation takes work, but momentum compounds. And automation creates freedom for you guys to do more things in your business, and that creates growth. And the people behind your tech matter as much as the tech itself. Now, here's my takeaway. Scaling isn't about having all the answers. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people and choosing partners who actually show up to help you and protecting time to work on your business, not just in your business. Go to conferences, guys. Talk with your peers. Learn from people who may be a few steps ahead of you. And if you want to connect with me, find me on LinkedIn. Just search for Lynell Gordon. Tell me your scaling journey. Especially if you're expanding into multiple markets, I would love to hear your story. Until next time, keep scaling your business, scale smart, and thanks for listening. This episode of the Vacation Rental Show is brought to you by Streamline. To find out more about how Streamline can grow your vacation rental business, visit streamlinevrs.com. Make sure to search for the Vacation Rental Show in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. On behalf of the team here at Inhabit, thanks for listening.